Howdy people, so today got the approval for a $25,000 Navy Federal Credit Union GoBiz business card through Visa. It wasn't that hard for me to get that card. I had opened a checking account, and on the same day I put $300 into that account and I applied for the business credit card. And so I didn't have a lot of money in that account. I had a regular checking account set up for probably about 6 months beforehand. You have to have an account and be a member in order to open a business checking account. So you have to have a regular account first, and then you can open the business checking account, which I did. And then I just transferred $300 from the regular checking account, which I only had $1,500 in it to begin with. So I really wasn't using it a lot. I had just wanted to become a member of the credit union with the idea that sometime down the road I would do the business checking account and start using their other products that they offer. So then I opened the business checking account, transferred $300 from the personal checking account, which only had $1,500. Same day I opened a business checking account, applied for the credit card, waited 3 days, got approved, $25,000. Now, with the business checking account, you have to submit your IRS letter with the employer identification number, or EIN, your business license, which is like your sales tax permit, and your annual gross revenue, which truck drivers is pretty good. So then you submit your application. I had to unlock my credit reports because I have a security lock on that. So they did a hard inquiry on Experian the very same day that I applied for credit. So you definitely want to, you have to unlock your credit report for them to access it. The only other thing I could think of is that in the application process, you have to do a personal guarantee acknowledgement that you're going to guarantee upwards of $25,000. Personal guarantee, which means if you default on that card, that protects the credit union. They're going to come get their money. They're going to pursue that. If you don't pay, which is understandable. Because there's probably a lot of fraud and abuse in those business cards, and they don't want to fall victim to that any more than anybody else does. So you do have to agree to a credit rating. My credit scores were all, there's several different credit scores, and they were all above 800. So that definitely, helped me and put things in my favor for odds of getting approved. I was pretty confident I was going to get approved, but I didn't know by how much. The limit is $25,000, and as a truck driver, $25,000 would be nice because some truck repairs can be over $10,000. So having a credit limit of $25,000 would be very, very beneficial, and it being Visa, it's going to be accepted everywhere. So I already have the American Express Plum card, which I recommend, and I think that would be my first choice for making any truck repairs, would be the American Express Plum card. You get 1.5% cash back within 30 days, and then if you decide to take the full 60 days to pay the Plum card off, you can do that with zero interest. So that's very, very nice for me as a small business owner to have the Plum card. But there were times when I went to a repair facility, they don't accept American Express. That's a real inconvenience, because that's your primary way of paying for truck repairs, and the facility doesn't accept it. Then it makes things a little more challenging. We have the required maintenance account. We put 18 cents per mile in the required maintenance account, but when it comes time to pay, the credit cards offer you flexibility. So you don't have to go through the rigmarole of trying to get an EFS check, and is it going to take all your money you have in the maintenance account? If it's a $10,000 repair, you may only have $10,000 in that maintenance account. So then it just kind of wipes you out. Whereas if you put it on a credit card, then you could take your time and pay it off over the next 30, 60 days or maybe longer. So the credit card is definitely the preferred way to make a payment on truck repairs. And it's just, you're not carrying around, $10,000 loosely. You're not keeping it in one specific account necessarily. Even if you had $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 saved up, you may have that invested in mutual funds or ETFs or other short-term equities that would get you some pretty good interest. So for you to pay, with like a debit card or by check, $10,000 or $15,000 for a truck repair, well, first you would have to go through all the transactions of getting your money out of stocks and CDs or savings accounts and accumulating it in one account, and then doing the transactions from just one account. That can take time. That could take 2 or 3 days for those transactions to go through. So even if you had cash, which there's nothing wrong with paying cash, chances are you would not have enough of it in a single account, like a check account or savings account, just sitting there not getting any interest. You would probably have it spread out through a variety of different investment tools. And then if you wanted to pool all that money together to pay for a truck repair, that could take 2 or 3 days for all those transactions to clear. So having the credit card is the easier way to go, because you could just pay for that truck repair, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, 25 grand, whatever it takes to get your truck back on the road. You make one transaction with that credit card, and then over the next 30, 60 days or maybe longer, you pay that card off. Then you go to your other investments and take a look at strategies and the way you should want to do it. Maybe you have money sitting in a ETF or a mutual fund, and you're like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and sell that and then take the money and apply it towards paying off that credit card. But you do that at your own convenience. See how that works? So at the time of paying for the truck repair, you're ready to go because you got that credit card. And then you can take your time paying that credit card off however you want to do it. So I think that's a great tool to have. I want to establish that relationship with Navy Federal, and this is a good way to do it, is using your credit card. And I've set up direct deposit to go into that business checking account, and at some point we'll take a look at refinancing my truck through Navy Federal, build up that payment history with them, and then it comes time to buy my next truck, seriously take a hard look at going through Navy Federal Credit Union to finance that truck. That would be preferable for me, rather than buying it through the company, having to have a required maintenance account and a speed limiter on the truck. So when you finance it outside the company, you do away with that speed limiter. You don't have to have the required maintenance account. And then you're actually building credit history with the credit union. So that's, to me, that from a business standpoint, that has value in doing it that way, because you want to build that relationship with a financial institution. Now, this is Navy Federal Credit Union, so I could see credit cards, business checking account, refinancing the truck, comes time to buy a new truck, financing it through them. This really kind of makes you a little more independent of the company. I think sometimes the company kind of offers these programs, but they come with some apron strings attached to it, right? It's like, well, you can't leave the company until you pay your truck off, and the trucks aren't getting any cheaper, so it takes longer to pay these trucks off. And then that required maintenance account, right now I got 10 grand in it. I don't plan on using it anytime soon. In another 6 months, I'll probably have 20 grand in it. And this is all money that you can't touch, you don't control. You know, it's your money, but you don't control it, and that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. You know, so I think a more experienced owner operator is going to want to have more control over their money. You know, they're not going to want to be speed limited in a truck, even if it is set at 70 miles per hour. It would still be better not to have the speed limiter. So I think this is a good development for me, a good step in the right direction. I don't have any plans of changing companies, but I do like to maintain my independence as much as I possibly can. So I'll have 2 business cards. One's actually a charge card. The American Express Plum card is actually a charge card. And then I'll have the Navy Federal Credit Union business card, which is a Visa. That's really all I need. You know, that combined, you know, those 2 cards are, you know, the charge card can fluctuate a little bit. You know, your spending power could go up as you spend more. But I would say right now I probably have $40,000 available to me in business credit. That's just in business credit. In personal credit, you know, I probably have almost as much. You know, so between personal credit and business credit, you're looking at $80,000 worth of credit. You know, so I don't really foresee the need to go out and pursue additional business credit cards. Although, you know, I might. You know, we'll have to wait and see. What I like to do is once a year apply for a new credit card. It's worked out great for me over the years. You know, it's like every year, you know, one credit inquiry comes off your credit report, and I normally keep my credit inquiries at 2 or less. And then as one credit inquiry falls off, they stay on there for 2 years. One falls off, then I apply for a new credit card. So every year, one credit inquiry falls off my credit report, and I apply for a new credit card. And that's how I've been building my credit up to where it's been over 800 for the last few years. My credit score has been over 800. You know, there's several different scores, you know, depending on whether it's a score for an auto loan or a bank card or some other kind of loan. There's several, and all 7 of them are over 800. So I know bank card, I think my bank card score was over 850. So the odds of me getting approved by Navy Federal Credit Union was expected. You know, it'd be very unusual for me not to get approved. The question was how much were they going to approve me for? I wanted the full amount. The limit was 25 grand, and that's what they approved me for, 25 grand. So I was very pleased with that. You know, that gives me more flexibility and options as a small business owner, that I have it there if I need it. It's reassuring that, you know, there's a tool, a financial tool, to help me manage cash flow, and it would be accepted everywhere I go when I'm driving truck across the country. So I feel much more confident having that second card, and I really look forward to doing more business with Navy Federal Credit Union. You know, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure that I'll be financing trucks through them in the future. So I'm very, very happy with how things are going with them. Alright guys, that's all I got for you.